Sports fans, PB&Z, Sports Chaos. And PB, we're going to talk about 44-year-old Philip Rivers coming back to play momentarily, but quick recap last week. The Bengals absolutely had the Bills down, and then Josh Allen puts his cape on, comes back from 10 points down to win that game. I mean, Josh might have moved back into first place for the MVP vote after that performance. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he had a fantastic game, and it's kind of sad because right now, in my opinion, the Bengals are probably the best team in the AFC North, but they're probably not going to win the division. Um, Too little, too late. But yeah, it was a great game. Josh Allen, I mean, you can never count that guy out.
Well, speaking of the Bengals, I mean, he's in that division. Pittsburgh came and beat Baltimore last week. You know what's funny? So last week, G Money and I did the show, and I said, I think Pittsburgh can win this game, but I didn't pick them because when you think about it, Baltimore lost to Cincinnati the week before. Cincinnati has no defense, but they shut Baltimore down. Pittsburgh has a better defense, right? So that was my reasoning, but I didn't want to make the pick because I hate Aaron Rodgers and go figure he wins a goddamn game, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's Baltimore. I think they've shown their true colors the last couple of weeks. I think Pittsburgh's a little bit of a paper tiger as well. I think that the winner of that division is going to get in as the 4 seed, and they're going to get a home playoff game. And then someone like Buffalo or Houston is going to come in as the 5 seed and smoke them. I mean, that whoever wins that division is one and done, in my opinion.
No, most likely. I agree with you. But let's. So you mentioned Baltimore. You can't say Baltimore without Kansas City. They're both in the same boat. Kansas City theoretically is and statistically in a worse position than Baltimore. Baltimore can still get in by winning that division, and it's still wide open. KC, for all intent and purposes, is done. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Because you still got to deal with the other two teams in the South, believe it or not, that don't win the division. Because Jacksonville's leading that division. Houston might be able to take it, but Jacksonville's certainly going to mix. And let's see what Indy does down the stretch here. I mean, Indy's got a tough little schedule, but
You
um,
brought up Indy. We got to bring it. We got to talk about it. The elephant in the room. Philip Rivers, 44-year-old Philip Rivers, hasn't played in 1,800 days. The last time he played was in 2020. COVID was going on then, and he's going to play quarterback. Fortunately, the offense is the same offense he runs with his high school team that he coaches for his son, so he has some familiarity. But I mean, I loved it. I was watching Tony and Mike last night, and Mike Wilbon goes, "Just don't run, just don't run, because you're going to get killed."
yeah, yeah. I mean, he obviously has the arm. They're saying, he can still sling it, but being in football shape isn't just about throwing the football. So we'll see.
I heard a good comment today about Booger McFarland. 25,000 players, or 25, whatever the number is, in the NFL. They've been practicing all year long. They went through off-season OTAs, and you're going to come back after sitting on your couch for 4.5 years and think you're going to play a football game? He goes, it's kind of embarrassing to the rest of the guys. He's
Right.
got a point, right? Like,
He
if he
does.
plays well, what does that say about the game? I mean, does that mean Larry Bird and Michael Jordan come back and play in the NBA? Because that league is much more watered down, right? Those guys should probably play in that league, right?
It's a good point.
Hey, let me ask you a question. So now we got Philip Rivers discussion going on. You remember that famous draft? Eli would not go to San Diego, right? That's why that's why Phil Rivers ended up with the Chargers. At this point in time, and by the way, if Phil Rivers plays, his Hall of Fame candidacy has to wait 5 more years.
Yeah, I saw that. Interesting, huh? Even if he just plays one game. Yeah.
Right? So, and it's too bad because then we'd have this big debate. Eli or Philip, who would you take first and foremost in the Hall of Fame? I mean, I don't take Eli ever. I can't. I just can't. He's a 500
Yeah.
quarterback. Philip Rivers is much better, in my opinion. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you.
It's too bad he didn't get the chip, right? Which is the measuring stick of all things. Eli found his way to 2 chips by accident. But I'm with you, right? So no way that he compares to Philip Rivers as a career quarterback, right?
Agreed.
All right, let's make some picks here. Bills come to Foxborough on Sunday against the Pats. Pats are rolling right now, but we have to admit they really haven't played anybody other than the Bills this season at this point in time. What do you think?
Yeah, and the Bills with their backs up against the wall, essentially. Obviously, it's a must win if they want any shot at the division. Buffalo has to win this game. Um, so and let's keep in mind, New England already won up in Buffalo. So the chances of any team sweeping in a division when both teams are considered good teams is tough to do.
Right.
Um, so all the signs are pointing to Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. But we've also seen Buffalo is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of team
They
this
are.
year. Like
They are. Right.
and who's going to show up? I mean, I don't. This is a tough game to pick. I mean, it's hard to separate my desire and heart from wanting the Patriots win to the reality of probably Buffalo winning this game. But for the record, what the heck? It's the Pats year. Let's just take the Pats.
No. Wow. All right. Uh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I think Mike Vrabel figures out Josh Allen like they already did in the first game. So I got the Pats as well. Who did G Money take?
Yeah, I'm just going that right now. I believe it was the Pats as well. Yeah, so it's three for the Pats there.
Okay. All right. Ravens and Bengals. Bengals, just you mentioned it a minute ago, hard to beat a team in your division twice. Bengals won in Baltimore, was just 2 weeks ago, right? Does
Yeah.
do they complete the sweep?
I mean, it's kind of the same exact scenario, right? But did the Bengals win with Burrow without they won without Burrow, right? Because Burrow was only been back one game, or was he been back two?
Right, that was his first game back when they won.
Oh, it was okay. All right. Um, yeah, I mean it's the same situation, right? They won on the road, they're coming back, two teams of similar caliber. You know what? This is what's going to be the separator of me. They're not two teams of similar caliber. I think the Bengals are better than the Ravens. And you can make the argument, well, the Bengals defense is horrible, but we've seen the Bengals defense step up. Baltimore's defense is not that good. Is if you much as you want to think traditionally and historically and all that kind of stuff, they're not that good. Burrow will eat that defense alive, and I think the Bengals get the sweep. Plus, they're just the hotter team and they're playing better right now.
Agreed, they're playing better. That loss last week to Buffalo when they were up by 10 shows you that defense is not that good. Yes, Ravens are down, but I think they have a better defense. But to your point, at the end of the day, I think Joe and his weapons get it done. Bengals win that game at home. At home.
Yep, and G Money has the same thing. So far, we've got two sweeps here.
All right, Chargers come off a big win last week over Philadelphia. Monday Night Football, so a short week. They go to KC. KC is in horrible shape right now after another loss. What do you think?
This one was so hard to pick. I
It
mean,
is.
at some point, I think the Chiefs have to win a game. I just feel like it. They're at home. Big win for the Chargers last week. I did have the Chargers picked. I believe I was the only one that took the Chargers last week. Um, so hard. I mean, I haven't really even made up my mind yet. I'm making it up as we speak. The thing
By the way,
is, the
PB,
thing I'm trying to
I'll help
use.
you with this a little bit. I think this is a legacy game. The Chiefs dynasty is over and done if they don't make the playoffs this year. I don't think they come back and make the playoffs next year either. Heads are at stake. Travis Kelce may not be back. There's questions about Andy Reid. Is he too old to be coaching anymore? There's a lot at stake. So this is an answer game for Kansas City. And the one guy that answers the bell when it's down in the dumps is Patrick Mahomes, right? Even though he's had a tough year. People have taken, they haven't really given Patrick a hard time. I think Patrick's been a little bit of the problem as well, but I think he finds a way to bounce back and proves himself to be Patrick Mahomes. They win this game.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was leaning with this, and I'm gonna take your reinforcements and go with the Chiefs as well. And G Money has the Chiefs too. Plus, let's not forget this either. The Chargers win against the Eagles last week wasn't as impressive as people think. The Eagles right now, to me, are playing like crap. And if Dallas won that game in Detroit, everybody would be talking about Dallas winning that division and not the Eagles. And Dallas still has a chance to take that division. The only thing is the Eagles have a pretty weak schedule. I think they still have to play Washington twice, and they play Vegas this week. So their schedule is going to let them get in probably, but the Eagles aren't that good. So I'm not going to give the Chargers that much credit for that win last week. I'm going to go Chiefs.
By the way, speaking of the Eagles, AJ Brown, 2 drops. Man, shut your mouth up, buddy. Stop yapping. You had two drops, one in the end zone. And Jalen Hurts, I posted it on our Facebook. I saw him in pregame. They're doing warm-ups. He's going the wrong direction. You're the quarterback. 52 other guys are going in one direction, and you're going the other way in the little warm-up running drills. Come on. I knew they were in trouble when I saw that. Turns out it was 4 turnovers, right? So I'm with you as well. But so hey, let's go next game. Green Bay, Denver. You have a hard time with LA and Kansas City? I don't know where to go with this game. Did Green Bay show their stripes last week in that win? Or is Denver really that tough, especially at home in Mile High? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, great win for Green Bay, right? Winning, albeit at home, um, in a game that, Chicago came in winning 5 in a row, one of the hottest, number one seed. They were the number one seed in the NFC.
Number one seed going into that game,
and,
correct.
And Green Bay knocked them off. So I like that. I think Green Bay's probably one of the better teams in the NFC. I know they've had their ups and downs throughout the year. The question is Love. Is Love going to get shut down by this Denver defense, or can Love actually step up and play? That's really what it's going to come down to.
Yep,
Denver doesn't have impressive wins. But that's Sean Payton for you. They stay in the game, they win close games, they make the plays when it matters. That's the sign of a good football team, kind of similar to the Patriots in a way. I think the Patriots are more explosive offensively, but I want to take Denver, but I think this is the week that they lose, and I'm going to go Green Bay. I know it's in Denver, but I'm still going to go Packers in this one.
The Green Bay, I think that's a game. So there's not a clear-cut high MVP. We said Josh took a step up last week. I think Micah Parsons, if he gets 3 sacks, puts himself in the MVP running.
Okay, and you know what? That means so far all 4 games, all 3 of us have, and these are tough games to pick. These aren't easy games to pick. And all 4 games so far, all 3 of us have the same team picked. So kind of interesting.
All right, here's another tough game. This is for what should be the supremacy of the NFC, but Detroit has taken a step back. Can they go to LA in SoFi, and make a statement and upset the Rams? Stafford against Goff.
Yeah, right. A little team swapping here. I don't know. This is a tough one too. And I think the question is, can Detroit build off of the momentum from last week? Because that was a nice win against Dallas, right? Dallas had just come off beating the Eagles and the Chiefs. And then, the 2 teams in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, but 2 teams also that aren't playing as well as, the Rams are for sure, right? The Rams right now, to me, are the clear-cut number 1. But you know what?
I mean, they absolutely smoked who they play, the Falcons, or I forget who they played, but they absolutely crushed them.
Seattle smoked the Falcons. The Rams smoked the Cardinals, I think.
God, that's right. It was like 47-10 or something like that.
Yeah. But I'm going to go with the repeat from last week. I think the number 1 team in the NFC gets dethroned by another team, just like the Bears got dethroned last week by the Packers. I think this week the Rams get dethroned by the Lions, and they build off of that momentum that they have from last week. So I'm going to go Lions on this one.
For a rude awakening on Monday. Rams win this game handily.
Yeah. And you know what? The G Money has the Rams as well. So I'm the lone person in that one. Gives you guys a chance to catch up with me, by the way, because I'm leading the pack here. So, all right.
All right, Minnesota and Dallas. I believe that's a Sunday night game, if I'm not mistaken. Minnesota showed life last week. Came out of nowhere. J.J. McCarthy woke up, took some smelling salt, apparently. Cowboys come off a tough loss. Cowboys do have the benefit of a few extra days rest because that was a Thursday night game last week. I'm going Dallas no matter what.
Yeah, is Lamb out of the concussion protocol too?
Hasn't been said yet. Hasn't been declared yet.
Okay, because that to me would be important. I know Fournette had a really good game. Can he do that again if Lamb's out? There's some question marks there. But McCarthy was efficient. He wasn't flashy. He only threw for 140 something yards, I think, but he had 3 touchdowns, right? So very efficient. I think the question is going to come down to, can Minnesota force turnovers and make Dallas turn the ball over? If they can do that, they'll have a shot at maybe winning this if they have some short fields. And again, put McCarthy more in an efficiency type of quarterback situation. not in a
And Minnesota
desperation.
has to be two-dimensional. That's the reason why Dallas lost to Detroit. Detroit was two-dimensional in that game. They ran the ball efficiently. Jamal Gibbs had a huge game, and they passed the ball well. If Dallas can stop one of those two things, passing or running, and make them one-dimensional, I don't see any way Minnesota wins the game.
Yeah, and it's at Dallas too, right? On top of
Yeah.
that,
Oh yeah.
so
Yep.
uh, yeah, so I could see that. I could actually see this game being a blowout. This was probably my easiest pick of the week out of the six is Dallas. So all three of us are the same on Dallas. So across the board, all six games were all the same, except I'm the only one sitting with the Lions over the Rams.
Yes. All right, PB, real quick, college football. The playoffs are set, and Notre Dame took the ball and went home. What do you think about the disrespectful way Notre Dame has acted about this whole thing? They lost to Miami. We've talked about this, you and I, for now about 5 weeks as these rankings came out. Sooner or later, it's going to come back, and the committee had to say head-to-head counts, because if it didn't, teams would not schedule each other anymore. If you didn't count head-to-head as being a factor, you wouldn't see teams playing each other anymore. They play cupcakes like Ohio State did all year long. What do you think of the
Right.
Notre Dame behavior?
I think it's atrocious. I mean, they should. They're not acting in a
They don't even
professional
go to a bowl
sports.
game now, right? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they come out and blame the ACC for a smear campaign. There's no way in hell the committee sat there and listened to the ACC and said, take us before they take Notre Dame. There's no way.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
this. I think one underlying message was this, PB. Get in a conference, Notre Dame. You won't have to have this problem. Play in a
Yeah,
conference, you won't
that's
have the problem.
that's that's exactly what I was going to say. This might be their ticket to say, hey, we need to get now. Are they going to live through their tradition of being Notre Dame and being an independent and all that kind of stuff? We'll see. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You look at their schedule, the two team powerhouse, if you want to call it teams that they played, Miami and A&M, they lost to. Albeit they only lost to Miami by 3 points and they only lost to A&M by 1 point, but they were still two
Loss is a
losses.
loss. A loss
A
is a
loss is a
loss.
loss. And then the other 9, 10 games, whatever it is that you won, you look through it and you're like, there's not really substance here. And now, if you're sitting in the SEC or the Big Ten, that schedule is going to look very different and you're going to have more quality wins and put yourself in a better position to make it. They could have even probably afforded a third loss if they had played a stronger schedule. So that's what got them at the end. And then they whined about it and they didn't have good sportsmanship. And so be it.
Speaking of three losses, everybody's talking about Bama getting in with three losses. And the committee's message is we're not going to penalize you for playing an extra game. And I agree with that to a point. But what happened to BYU? BYU was sitting at 11. They lost the extra game. Yes, it got blown out in it, but they got penalized for that as well. So you can't make that argument and then penalize BYU. Now, I do see why Alabama got in. Their strength of schedule, strength of record, FBI. They're the only one of the 12 teams who were in the top 10 of all three of those categories. So they had three tough losses, one in their conference championship. I think they deserved it. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. They think Notre Dame should have been taken ahead of Alabama, but I just
Yeah.
you can't use the argument though that you can't be penalized for playing in your conference championship when BYU was a ranked team and played in
Right.
their conference championship, right?
Right. And we were saying Alabama's going to get in all year long. They were the team that could get in with three losses, and we were right on that one. Hey, we got to tell our fans too. We're going
Army Navy,
Saturday.
Army Navy.
Army Navy, Z and I will be there in Baltimore. Are we gonna pick it?
Let's pick it. We'll just pick winner. Who do you got? Of course, I got to take Navy. Roger Staubach School.
Yeah,
Blake
and
Horvath.
I think Navy's a 5.5 point favorite right now. So it could cover, could be a low scoring game, but we're just picking the winners. I'll go Navy as well. My dad was in the Navy, so I'm going to go Navy as well.
Hey, by the way, this is the highest ranking since 2019 for either team. It's the ninth time that the Commanders in Chief trophy is on the line between these two teams, right? Because the Air Force is the other one in that mix. So it's good. There's some stuff at stake. All right, so I got Navy, you got Navy. Last pick we're going to make. Heisman Trophy is that night as well. You got Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, the quarterback Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, Just Saying from Ohio State. I'm just calling him Just Saying. And Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. Who do you like to win the Heisman?
Let's just go Mendoza. Let's give Ricky P a plug and take the Indiana boy. We'll go
I am
Mendoza.
too because they're the number one team in the country. But you know what? The guy that I think did more for his team was Diego Bavaya from Vanderbilt. But I think it's going to be Mendoza as well. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. All right.
All right, buddy. Notre Dame, Navy Army coming up.
All right. And I'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, talk to you.